Part 1. The Aftermath. The screen fades in on Seong Gi-hun, shackled and bruised, sitting in a dimly lit prison cell. The faint flicker of a fluorescent light above casts eerie shadows on the cold, damp walls. His face is gaunt, his eyes sunken and filled with the torment of recent events. The rebellion he spearheaded in Season 2 failed, leaving him a prisoner of the very organization he tried to dismantle. Echoing footsteps break the silence. A guard enters, clad in the signature red suit, his mask reflecting the dim light. Without a word, he places a tray of food on the cold metal floor and steps back. Gi-hun doesn't move. His thoughts drift to Jung-bae, his closest ally, who sacrificed himself in the rebellion. The memory plays in his mind like a haunting reel. Jung-bae's last words, the determination in his eyes as he made the ultimate sacrifice. Gi-hun's hand trembles as he reaches for the tray. Hidden beneath the stale bread is a small piece of folded paper. Unknown to the guards, Gi-hun has been communicating with someone on the inside, a janitor sympathetic to his cause. He unfolds the note with careful precision. The message reads, "Tomorrow, midnight, be ready." As Gi-hun tucks the note away, the door creaks open again. This time, it's the front man, his cold, calculated voice sending a chill down Gi-hun's spine. "You should have stayed in line." Part 2. The New Arena. After a daring and chaotic escape, Gi-hun stumbles into the outside world, only to realize the games have evolved. The crisp night air feels foreign against his skin after weeks in confinement. He navigates the back alleys, his breathing ragged, until he spots a dimly lit warehouse. Inside, a group of masked figures gathers around a makeshift command center. Maps of various countries, encrypted radios, and scattered documents cover the room. Gi-hun meets Mei, the resistance leader and a former player. Her hardened demeanor softens as she speaks. "The games have spread," she says, pointing to a map marked with red dots. "Every dot is a new arena." She pulls up a live feed showing one of the games, a brutal match where players are forced to fight blindfolded, while the wealthy VIPs bet on their survival. "They're not just watching anymore," Mei explains. "They're profiting from every drop of blood." "We can't fight them alone," Gi-hun says, his voice resolute. "We need to unite every resistance cell." Mei hesitates before pulling back a curtain. Behind it is a bloodied figure, chained to a chair, a high-ranking organizer of the games. "He has answers," Mei says darkly, "if he lives long enough to give them." Part 3. The Infiltration. Gi-hun volunteers to infiltrate a new Squid Game to gather intelligence. The arena is unlike anything he's faced before. A sprawling urban wasteland filled with crumbling buildings, flooded streets, and towering scaffolds. The air is thick with tension as players are corralled into the first challenge. The game, titled The Puppet String, is a nightmare of precision and terror. Players must cross a narrow bridge while mechanical marionettes swing bladed strings from above. The room echoes with screams as one by one players fall to the traps. Gi-hun moves cautiously, his heart pounding with every step. He forms a fragile alliance with two players, Sophia, a tech-savvy hacker, and Park, a stoic former soldier who carries the weight of a haunted past. In between games, Gi-hun uses a hidden earpiece provided by Mei to transmit information to the resistance. "They're monitoring everything," he whispers, "even our heart rates." During a tense moment in the second game, Gi-hun spots a familiar figure among the guards. It's the janitor who helped him escape. Their eyes meet briefly before the guard turns away, leaving Gi-hun with more questions than answers. Part 4. The Revelation. The games take a darker turn, designed to fracture the remaining players' trust. In a challenge called The Price of Trust, players are paired with their closest allies, but are secretly given incentives to betray them. Gi-hun watches alliances crumble under the weight of deceit. In a rare moment of rest, Gi-hun sneaks into the organizer's control room. Screens display every corner of the arena, and documents scattered across the desk reveal the global scale of the operation. Among them, he finds a dossier on the new frontman. The truth hits him like a punch to the gut. The frontman is Sang-woo's younger brother, presumed dead, but now a pawn of the organization. As Gi-hun processes this revelation, the room goes dark. The voice of the frontman booms through the speakers. "You're not as clever as you think, Gi-hun." Part 5. The Uprising. The Resistance plans an ambush during the final game, a harrowing challenge that forces players to climb a collapsing tower while avoiding electrified traps. As chaos erupts, Mei and her team breach the arena, using smoke grenades and EMP devices to disable the broadcast systems. Gi-hun reaches the top of the tower, where he confronts the front man. "Why?" Gi-hun demands, his voice cracking. "Why become a monster like them?" The front man removes his mask, revealing a face etched with pain and conflict. "Because someone had to keep the system running," he replies. "If not me, then someone worse." For a moment, the tower shakes violently, debris raining down from above. The front man stumbles, losing his balance. Gi-hun lunges forward, grabbing his hand just in time. "I can't let you fall," Gi-hun mutters, his grip tightening, "even if you don't deserve it." The front man's expression softens for a fleeting moment. "You'll regret this," he says, before Gi-hun pulls him back to safety. But the moment is short-lived as the tower begins collapsing around them. The screen cuts to black as the two figures disappear into the chaos. Part 6. The Resolution. The games are exposed to the public, sparking international outrage. News outlets broadcast the gruesome footage, and protests erupt worldwide. Authorities dismantle the organization, arresting key figures. Survivors of the games are finally given justice, their harrowing stories inspiring global reform. Gi-hun stands before a crowd of reporters, his voice steady but emotional. "This isn't just about me or the people who died. It's about the system that allowed this to happen." In the aftermath, Gi-hun visits Yoongbei's grave, leaving behind a single flower. He whispers, "We did it." The front man, now in custody, sits in an interrogation room. A shadowy figure enters, placing a thick file on the table. "Project Phoenix," the figure says. "You thought this was over. It's just beginning." The final scene shows a masked figure standing on the edge of the ruins of the arena, watching the horizon. The faint sound of a familiar haunting tune begins to play, leaving viewers with an unsettling sense that the games may be gone, but their legacy remains. Project Phoenix. The Shadow Reborn. The camera lingers on the masked figure standing on the desolate outcrop, overlooking the ruins of the Squid Game arena. As the folder labeled Project Phoenix is opened, its contents reveal blueprints for an entirely new game, a more complex and global version of the Squid Games. Inside the folder are pages covered in cryptic diagrams and disturbing notes. Participants must represent nations. The stakes: the survival of their countries. A game for the highest bidders, where entire economies and governments are on the line. The figure's gloved hand moves slowly over the documents, pausing on an architectural rendering of an enormous, futuristic arena. Unlike the previous arenas, This one spans a massive island with sections dedicated to different stages of the games. A handwritten note on the margin reads, "A spectacle the world will never forget." As the figure closes the folder, a communication device crackles to life. A distorted voice says, "Phase 1 is complete. The invitations will be sent soon." The figure turns, walking away from the ruins, their silhouette fading into the mist. The faint sound of machinery echoes in the distance, hinting that something is already being built. The screen fades to black, and the haunting melody of the Squid Game theme begins to play. This was never the end. The games may have been exposed, but their shadow grows longer. What lies ahead is a new breed of terror, one that will test humanity in ways it has never known. Project Phoenix has begun. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video and subscribe for more exciting content. And let us know in the comments if you'd like us to proceed with Project Phoenix.